Have you ever wondered about the hidden meanings behind the world's most famous spiritual figures? Beyond the Sunday school stories and common interpretations lies a vast, mystical ocean of esoteric knowledge. Today, we're diving deep into the secret history of messiahs and masters, from Jesus and Mithras to Merlin and Enoch, uncovering the Gnostic and occult traditions that see them in a totally different light. This isn't the history you learned in school. This is the mystery tradition. Let's start with a figure we all think we know, Jesus or the Messiah. In Hebrew, Messiah means the anointed one. But in Gnostic texts, it has a double meaning, the Christ and also the measured. This suggests the Savior is not just a person, but the very measure of truth itself. The Gnostics saw Christ or Christos as the Greek version of the Logos, the divine word or universal reason. They believed that a pre-existent, powerful spirit, the Archangel Michael, took on human form as Jesus, his purpose. To descend into our world, a realm they believed was controlled by lesser, ignorant celestial rulers called Archons, and show humanity the way out. Through his life and ultimate martyrdom, Jesus didn't just become a historical hero. He became a living symbol, a bridge for each individual to achieve Gnosis or direct, saving knowledge and find their own path back to the divine source. His birth story is also reimagined. The Virgin Mary is seen as the earthly reflection of a divine celestial mother figure named Sophia, or wisdom. In some Gnostic myths, her miraculous pregnancy was even a complex plot by cosmic forces to create a physical vessel for the Christ spirit. This leads to the concept of the monogenes, or the only begotten, not just a son, but a self-born spiritual being, representing the process of rebirth and redemption available to all who follow the path of knowledge. But Jesus wasn't the only figure of this kind. Let's look at Melchizedek, the mysterious king of Salem who appears briefly in Genesis to bless Abraham. Who was he? Some traditions identify him with Shem, the son of Noah. The New Testament's epistle to the Hebrews describes him mystically as being without father, without mother, without descent, hinting at a supernatural origin. In Gnosticism, he's a figure of immense prestige, often associated with the sun deity Sedek. He represents a primordial, eternal priesthood that existed long before the established religious orders. He's not just a king, he's a prefiguration of the Christ, a timeless master. Now let's travel to ancient Persia and meet Mithras. Mithras was a powerful sun god, the central deity in a mystery religion called Mithraism that was incredibly popular in the Roman Empire, right around the same time early Christianity was spreading. The parallels are striking. Like Christ, Mithras was a divine sun, a bringer of light and a mediator between humanity and the ultimate divine. In the occult mystery tradition, Mithras is one of the most important solar deities, a figure of strength and order, sometimes even associated with the celestial craftsman or demiurge who shapes the universe. The similarities in their stories, symbols, and rituals have fascinated scholars for centuries, suggesting a shared stream of ancient spiritual ideas. Going back even further, we have Seth, the third son of Adam and Eve. While often overlooked in mainstream traditions, Seth is a central hero in Gnosticism. He was seen as the true spiritual heir of Adam, the one who received the pure original wisdom, the first Kabbalah. His descendants were called the sons of God, a spiritual lineage of the perfect. Gnostic texts tell of Seth being taken up into the heavens, where he was taught supreme secrets by the Great Mother. He is the original Gnostic prophet, the first in a long line of enlightened beings who carried the secret knowledge through the ages. And who can forget Enoch, the man who walked with God and was no more? Enoch is synonymous with ancient wisdom and forbidden celestial knowledge. The famous Book of Enoch, which wasn't included in many versions of the Bible, is a wild ride. It describes his journeys through the heavens, his encounters with angels and strange creatures like phoenixes, and the secrets of the cosmos he learned. This book was hugely influential, especially on Gnostic thought. The legends of pillars raised by the sons of Seth to preserve knowledge before a great flood are often linked to Enoch, cementing his role as a keeper of primordial secrets. Now, what about the family of Jesus? Mary, as we mentioned, is the earthly symbol of the Divine Mother Sophia. Her name itself, like Maya in the East, is connected to the concept of water, the primordial water of life from which all creation emerges. And Joseph, an intriguing and controversial theory, points to an ancient text where Joseph's family's surname was Panther. This creates a fascinating link to the Greek god Dionysus, also known as Bacchus, who is said to have been nursed by panthers. This doesn't mean Jesus was literally Dionysus, but it points to how ancient storytellers used symbolic association to connect figures to archetypal themes of divinity, sacrifice, and rebirth. The idea of divine sonship itself is a core concept. In many ancient traditions, a coronation ritual didn't just make a man a king. It conferred upon him the status of the Son of Man, making him a divine representative on earth. In the mystery traditions, this concept is internalized. The Christos isn't just an external savior. It's the solar power, the latent divinity that exists within every single person. The goal of the spiritual path is to realize that inner divinity, to achieve at-one-ment or becoming one with your own divine self. This stream of hidden wisdom didn't stop in the ancient Middle East. It flowed into Europe and was preserved by groups like the Druids in ancient Britain and Ireland. Their sacred alphabet, the Ogham, wasn't just a writing system. Like Hebrew and Greek, it was a complex system of numerology and embedded concepts, a vehicle for mystical philosophy. It's believed that the Druidic tradition held unique threads of the same mystery tradition that Jesus himself may have studied and ultimately brought to its climax. This mystical Christian tradition echoes through the ages, peering in the legends of King Arthur and his enigmatic advisor, Merlin the Mage. Merlin isn't just a wizard. It's a guardian of a lineage of wisdom that blends pagan and Christian elements. It's a keeper of the secrets of the Grail and the true meaning of sovereignty. Even figures like Joan of Arc, who claim to be guided by divine voices, are sometimes viewed through this lens, as individuals who tapped into that same deep prophetic stream of Gnosis. From the sun gods of Persia to the sages of the Old Testament and the mages of Celtic lore, the story of the Messiah is far richer and more complex than we often imagine. It's a story that tells us that the path to redemption and enlightenment isn't just about worshiping a figure from the past. It's about recognizing the divine spark within ourselves and undertaking the journey to become our own measure of truth. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the hidden side of history. If you enjoyed this journey into the esoteric, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. See you next time.